Was wrong with Adrian Broner post-fight saying he won that fight against Pacquiao? Hell no, he did not. He did not win that fight. Pacquiao was all over him.
We don't have our own house, we don't have land, we don't have even food. We just, we have to work every day to make money to buy food.
What happens when some of the greatest warriors to ever step into a boxing ring all agree on one thing? And what if that one thing is a name, a force of nature, a hurricane in human form, Manny Pacquiao? When legends speak, the world listens. And when those legends can't stop talking about how frighteningly good Pacquiao was in his prime, you know this isn't just about a great fighter. It's about a phenomenon. A phenomenon that tore through weight classes as if they were made of paper and moved with the chaotic grace of a tornado in sneakers, leaving even the best in the sport in awe.
So,
That's Manny P. That's extremely moving.
Yes,
We're moved.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Okay, thank you.
Let's be honest, boxing has seen its share of greats. But when the gloves are hung up and the punches stop flying, what truly endures are the stories, the gasps, the awe, the disbelief. And right at the center of so many of those unforgettable tales stands Manny Pacquiao. He didn't just beat opponents, he stunned them into silence, made seasoned champions look like rookies, and pulled off performances that bordered on the miraculous. The kind that left even the most confident fighters wiping their brows in quiet relief that they never had to face him in his prime. Ricky Hatton wasn't so lucky. A proud warrior who had already gone 12 rounds with Floyd Mayweather Jr. and lived to tell the tale, barely, Hatton stepped into the ring with Pacquiao and walked straight into a whirlwind. It wasn't just that Manny was fast, it was that he was unfairly fast, a blur of destruction who seemed to defy the laws of physics. But this story isn't just about one fight, it's about broken game plans, shattered egos, and world champions, left admitting that yes, they too had fallen under the spell of the Pac-Man. Even Floyd Mayweather, a master of defense and self-promotion, couldn't hide it forever. Not in press conferences or staged interviews, but in those rare, unscripted moments where truth slips past the bravado. Mayweather didn't just outpoint Manny, he escaped him.
He got thoroughly beat decision-wise on that fight. I don't know what he was talking about when he said everybody knows he won the fight. Adrian Broner did not win that fight. And by the way, Jim Gray pointed out accurately, he averaged less than 8 punches around. What did I say when I interviewed him last week, huh, Jim? I said, they say you don't throw punches, man. He said it ain't about how many, it's about the right time.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves, because every champion Manny Pacquiao faced brought something unique to the ring. And yet, each one walked away changed, physically, emotionally, even spiritually. So buckle up. This isn't just a casual trip down boxing memory lane. This is a full-throttle, no-holds-barred confession session from some of the biggest names the sport has ever known. One by one, they testify, under the bright lights and behind the bravado, about the unrelenting force that was and still is Manny Pacquiao.
Congratulations. This is a beautiful gym. I hope that there's a lot of people will inspire to train here. Thank you. Congrats. Mike. Congrats. Congratulations. Yes, beautiful. I'm here to support you. Thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
Oscar de la Hoya found out the hard way. The Golden Boy, once seen as untouchable, stepped into the ring with Manny Pacquiao carrying the pride of a storied career, the confidence of a champion who'd seen it all. But he hadn't seen this. Not this version of Manny. De la Hoya entered with legacy and legend behind him, but he left that ring questioning everything he thought he knew. Manny's punches weren't just fast, they were surgical, precise, relentless. De la Hoya couldn't breathe, couldn't react, and then, like a tragic figure in a boxing Shakespeare, he admitted what no fighter ever wants to say. He knew it was over before it even began. That night wasn't just a defeat, it was an exorcism. Pacquiao didn't just beat him, he erased him from the spotlight. What made Manny Pacquiao different wasn't just the power in his fists, it was the poetry in his movement. He didn't just fight, he composed. He beat you with rhythm, with timing, with footwork so sharp it made world-class fighters look like they were stuck in slow motion. Every match became a symphony, and every opponent was a reluctant conductor, led straight off a cliff. Even Floyd Mayweather, boxing's defensive genius, a man who seemed to dodge time itself, admitted Manny was probably the best he'd ever faced. That's no small praise coming from someone who built a legacy on making elite fighters miss. But with Pacquiao, the angles, the footwork, the combinations, they didn't just land, they sang. It was jazz. Brutal, beautiful jazz.
It kind of shocked me because Pacquiao tends to lead with his head, which is how Marquez got him in that third fight.
Correct.
But he was quicker.
He was quicker. He was predictably more aggressive. He connected more. That 8th and 9th round, he was all over Adrian Broner. All over.
Then there's Joshua Clottey, a tough, seasoned fighter who, for reasons still unclear, decided to step into a hurricane armed with nothing but ego. He didn't just lose, he folded like cheap origami. And years later, even Clottey more or less admitted what fans had long suspected. He never had a shot. He was underpaid, underprepared, and completely outclassed. He couldn't even find the will to throw. Manny's punches came in relentless flurries, like machine gun fire from every angle, and Clottey's only mission became survival. But Manny Pacquiao didn't just humble champions, he made them question their place in the sport. Take Keith Thurman, for example. He came in riding a wave of hype, loud with bravado, declaring himself the new king of the welterweights. Manny was 40 years old by then, but he treated Thurman like a rookie in a sparring session. A knockdown in the first round set the tone, and while Thurman showed heart and grit, he couldn't do what so many before him had also failed to do: solve the puzzle. Because with Pacquiao, it wasn't just the speed or the power, it was the timing, the unpredictability, that vicious left hand. By the time you figured out how to respond, Manny was already gone, 3 steps ahead, ready to hit you again.
Has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want.
Even the broadcasters, guys trained to stay neutral, couldn't help but gush. Max Kellerman, a man known for breaking fights down with cold logic and sharp stats, practically lost his mind trying to explain just how absurd Manny Pacquiao's rise really was. From flyweight all the way to welterweight, collecting lineal championships along the way, it wasn't just historic, it was unheard of. It was like a chess player winning world titles using every single piece on the board. Nobody had done it before. Nobody's done it since. And let's be real, nobody probably ever will. Even Robert Garcia, one of the sharpest minds in the game, had to put it into perspective. When asked to compare Pacquiao's 8-division conquest to Floyd Mayweather's undefeated record, he didn't hesitate. Sure, an undefeated record is impressive, but with the right promoter and a carefully managed path, it's possible. Winning titles in 8 weight divisions? That's not padding your legacy. That's a warrior's resume. That's not cherry-picking. That's fighting anyone, anywhere, at any time, and still walking away with your hand raised.
Because I'm sure mentally you prepared as well as physically prepared, Shane, but you know.
They have shuttles. Yeah, they have shuttles, bro. Just in case.
Shane.
No, Shane took everything.
With Pacquiao.
Get in there.
I remember one thing. I remember him wrapping his hands. Pacquiao.
Because he wraps his own hands. Yeah.
Antonio Margarito found out the hard way what happens when you underestimate Manny Pacquiao. He believed his size would be the difference, that being the bigger man meant he could bully his way to victory. But size meant nothing against speed, precision, and pure fury. Manny turned him into a walking target, landing punch after punch, round after brutal round, until Margarito's face looked like a canvas painted in pain. By the end, he wasn't just defeated. He was medically dismantled. Bones shattered, spirit broken. The myth of size advantage? Completely destroyed. Even Mike Tyson, the the baddest man on the planet had no problem speaking the truth. To him, Pacquiao wasn't just great, he was sensational, the kind of fighter who made you question reality itself. Watching Manny fight was like watching someone who'd hacked the rules of boxing and rewritten them in real time. And legendary promoter Bob Arum, a man who's seen every era of greatness, didn't hide his awe either. In Pacquiao, he saw the same spirit he once saw in Muhammad Ali, not just in the ring, but beyond it. Manny was more than a fighter. He was a force of nature, a man who inspired nations, transcended politics, and with nothing but his fists and an unshakable smile, became a hero to millions.
We have to see that fight. So Pacquiao's peak was just about as good as anyone in history. Now, I'd have favored Mayweather back then. He's the naturally larger fighter. And that's the point. When you talk about pound for pound, if a fighter moves up out of his natural weight class and can still compete with the best who ever did it, what does that mean about the quality of that fighter's
Tim Bradley, who faced both Manny Pacquiao and Terence Crawford, gave us a masterclass in understanding what made Manny so special. According to Bradley, Manny wasn't just a fast starter or a powerhouse, he was something else entirely. Pacquiao was instinct in human form, a living, breathing reflex machine. He didn't just react to punches, he anticipated them. While you were still throwing your first jab, Manny was already landing his third. And then there was the subtle psychological warfare. Manny smiled, laughed, and looked like a choir boy outside the ring, but the very same fist that broke ribs came without warning. That contradiction, the gentleman on the outside and the relentless demon inside, left opponents mentally disarmed. They couldn't bring themselves to hate him. And when you can't hate the guy who's pounding your face, that kind of pain cuts deeper than any punch.
Nice to meet you, Alex. Thank you. How was it?
Amazing. Thank you for all the hospitality.
Sorry I wasn't able to come and see you guys with everything that was going on. It's okay. Thank you.